Hi there. I'm going to start a video series called My Most Memorable Games. And so this is number one. And I'm going right back to the year 2000, where my opponent was Eddy with the white pieces. He was rated 976, and I was rated 798. So almost, around that 200 rating point. And in those days, I had just started playing tournament chess, and I had never gotten a win that I could be happy with. There weren't a lot of new players coming into the chess community at the time, and the only wins I was able to get over that year were against young juniors who were beginners, more or less, just like me. So Rick plays e4, and I played e5. In those days, I played e5. I don't play e5 anymore, and I'll show you why. I was getting into a lot of trouble with this because White used to attack my f7 pawn a lot. And if I just had to play e6, it would be the French defense. If I played the pawn to e6 instead of e5, it would be the French defense, and then there's no attack there. But this always made me nervous, especially against the players who were, higher rated, 2, 3, 4, 500 points higher. It was very, very unnerving. So a lot of long, torturous games getting just attacked and attacked. So in this position, he comes up with a nice discovered attack. He moves his knight, takes my pawn, and checks me with his bishop. So I can't take his knight with my queen. I move the king out of the way, and he picks up a rook. So I decide to jump in and take a pawn back, thinking, okay, I get something back. And of course, he comes out with his queen, which I thought was a pretty good idea, very logical. My king is not safe, and he's got some pressure on, so brings out the queen. I developed my bishop. And of course, he's thinking now, trade, trade, trade. It's one of the things when you're ahead in material, you want to trade pieces as much as possible. So of course, he's going to take that, and I'll take back. And then he plays this move here. Again, he's thinking he wants to get everything off the board and just come down and beat me in an end game where he'll have a material advantage. So I play the king here, and I didn't see this coming, but he has this great queen sacrifice where I take the queen, looks like it's queen for nothing, but then he forks my king and queen and takes the queen. It was a neat looking tactic. However, it wasn't. It turned out that it wasn't a good idea. I think he rushed that idea. So what I do next is, of course, just getting my pieces out. But now I'm attacking the f2 pawn, and with two pieces. So he castles, and of course now I take the knight. So it's looking like black is a little bit better. I mean, that's what the computer thinks here. I was actually happy in this position. I wasn't thinking I was winning, but I was thinking this is a game now. And usually when I'm playing against these guys, I'm just getting creamed. So I was kind of thinking, okay, now don't mess this up. You got a good game going here. And now I was the one that decided, okay, well, I'll just trade because I'm kind of happy with my pieces, my activity. Look at this. I'm jumping in with a knight, attacking the c2 pawn with two pieces. So he moves it up, but I get a free pawn. So I'm doing really well here. I move my rook over to cut off his king, and he's got trying to get some activity going. My position is just very, very strong. He wants to trade rooks. I'm happy with that. Niehead once said to me that in an end game, the bishop is usually stronger than the knight, especially if there's pawns on both sides of the board. But I looked at this and I thought, well, I think I can win this. So the reason why he didn't take my knight here is because I would take his bishop, and then it looks really good for me with that passed pawn in the center of the board. So he plays this move, and he's going after some of my pawns. I make a trade. I'm happy with that, and I'm looking at just going slowly, taking as many pieces as I can, and getting a pawn across is my idea here. And it looks like now I've got this pawn is going away to the races, and I get another pawn for good measure, and this pawn becomes a queen, and he resigns after this move here. So as you can see, if you go back to this move here where I'm under an enormous amount of pressure, the computer says white's better. The computer says that white is better here, and much better after I took this pawn, which the computer thinks that I shouldn't have done. But the key here was Rick wanted to trade, and he went too soon. He went too fast. He should have kept more pieces on the board and got his other pieces out maybe before, because my development, if you look at my pieces now compared to his pieces, look at Black. Black has 3 pieces out. He has 2 pieces that haven't left the starting square. And look at my king. You might think, oh, that king isn't safe. But Niehed once said, when the queens are off the board, king is king. And what he meant by that is that your king becomes a good attacking piece when the queens are off the board, in most positions. So this is my first win, my most memorable games. This is win number 1 that I can be really happy with. So I hope you enjoyed it, and